Have you ever wondered how some of the most successful artists created their work? For example, take the beautiful creations of Alphonse Mucha, or the popular work of Jacques Vetriano. For an offbeat example, how about the excellent artwork by Frank Hampson for the Dan Dare stories for the Eagle in the 1950s? Now, Frank used his staff artists and even his own father as models for his work, photographing them in action poses based on his rough sketches. Artists seeking a level of realism would turn to models and photography. Models dressed and posed the way the artist visualized the given work. Now, this facility isn't readily available to the humble amateur such as myself, and perhaps you too. So what can be done about this? Is there a way to create an image based upon the human situation without going to the expense of hiring models and vintage clothing? Well, yes, there is. The internet is a great source of images. Patience is needed to find pictures that are a fair match for your ideas. And the first thing to do is to create a sketch, or, if necessary, find inspiration. Perhaps a photograph something like the idea in your mind. A rough sketch can suffice enough to give you a starting point. Now, here's one such created picture. I found the starting point for this when looking through a book by Andrew Loomis, the talented American artist famous for his work within the advertising industry during the 20th century. The sketch he made was to demonstrate perspective and viewpoint. I set about finding internet sources for a grand piano and a solo singer. In my imagination, this would be a soprano. I also needed to find a suitable picture of a pianist, but at first one eluded me, so I printed the piano image at A4, roughly sketching the pianist in place at the keyboard. Then the soprano was printed, having first ensured via Photoshop that the scale matched my piano image. Photoshop isn't essential, as there are a number of suitable programs for photo manipulation. The link to a good free one will be included in the text below this. I then cut the soprano image out crudely and placed it in position when I felt it looked right. Before I left Photoshop, I tilted the singer's head to make it seem she was looking at the pianist. The assembled material was photographed and printed on my laser printer. This gave me the working prototype I needed, which was then scaled up to an A3 size on a sheet of tinted pastel paper using my proportional dividers. After a lengthy search, I found a couple of images for a pianist, but the one I decided upon had no lower legs. It wasn't too big a task to find some legs to copy. Again, scale was important to adjust. Now, the easy way I found to do this was first to decide the height of the figure relative to the overall picture, then in the photo program set an image height to that figure and crop it closely, so when printed out the scale was right height-wise and of course width-wise naturally. The enlargement was mapped out using a B graphite pencil, then the outlines were inked using a Unipin 0.2mm waterproof pen. The painting was then created using colour pencils, a selection of Caran d'Ache and Faber-Castell, the wax type, not the watercolour ones. The final picture depicts a shocked and disappointed soprano singer. About to perform, this classical artist is confronted with a stand-in accompanist, a cheerfully naive young lady who not only has never heard of Bolero, but she even has to ask for the location of middle C on the piano keyboard. So you don't have to pay models, photographers or studio fees in order to create, just imagination and a source of photographs. I've put some links below for you to use. Good luck to you, thanks for watching.